Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Ranking the ACC quarterbacks was actually pretty simple. The conference is loaded with talent at the position, but there is a significant talent gap within all of the quarterbacks in the ACC. And today we're here to explain those talent gaps, guys. We're here to rank all of the quarterbacks within the conference, starting at number 14 and working our way all the way up to number 1. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on into our rankings right now, guys. We're going to come in at number 14 with Riley Leonard at Duke. And there's a bit of a quarterback battle going on at Duke right now under their brand new head coach in Mike Elko, but we expect Riley Leonard to be the starter. He's a guy that actually has a little bit of experience with the Blue Devils, attempting 62 passes last year, had 381 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. But Leonard finds himself at last in the conference solely due to, obviously, the new head coach, obviously due to his youth, and just the inexperience overall as a quarterback to go along with Duke arguably being the worst team in the ACC heading into 2022. Coming in at number 13, Jeff Sims at Georgia Tech. He's a guy that really hasn't taken off with the Yellow Jackets. Last year, throwing for just a little over 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions to go along with a little over 300 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. The problem is, while Jeff Sims did see an increase in his completion percentage, he saw a regression. He decreased in passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. All those numbers lower than they were in 2020. Georgia Tech is in for a big 2022 under Jeff Collins. This is a big year for him. To make a break year. After back-to-back 3 and 9 seasons, they need to break through, and a lot of that is going to ride on the performance of Jeff Sims, who again just really hasn't panned out during his time in Atlanta. In at number 12, Drake May at North Carolina. It's pretty hard to replace a legend, right? Sam Howell will go down as one of the better quarterbacks in North Carolina football history, and Drake May has to fill those shoes. He's a guy that attempted just 10 passes last year. So again, along with Riley Leonard, a guy that's very young, inexperienced, new to the game, at least new to the system, right? But he's a guy that stands at 6'5", 220 pounds, a very highly touted recruit, a big one that Mack Brown was able to land. He's got a great arm, extremely accurate, and we believe that in time, he can become the next great North Carolina quarterback. But we rank him low right now simply due to his inexperience. Also, fun fact, he is the brother of Luke May, the former North Carolina basketball star. So Drake May coming in at number 12 for the Tar Heels, and the Tar Heels hoping to bounce back after a disappointing 2021. In at number 11, we do have a quarterback battle here, whether it's going to be Jason Brown or Grant Wells at Virginia Tech. Jason Brown is transferring into Virginia Tech from South Carolina after throwing for over 700 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2021. But the job probably is going to go to Grant Wells, a guy who has thrown for over 5,600 yards and 34 touchdowns the last 2 years at Marshall. So when it comes to me, arm strength, accuracy, and just playing experience overall, Grant Wells owns that edge over Jason Brown, and we believe that Brent Pry more than likely will name Wells the starter in Blacksburg as Brent Pry heads into his first year with Virginia Tech and was going to be a major rebuild for him. Major rebuild on offense, major rebuild on defense. But of course, we all know it starts at the quarterback position. We believe it's going to be Grant Wells. But due to this battle and due to Wells having some inconsistency issues with the Thundering Herd, this is going to come in at number 11. And at number 10, Garrett Schroeder at Syracuse. Comes in at 6'4", 230 pounds. But let me tell you, Schroeder can move. He threw for over 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns last year, but rushed for 781 yards and 14 touchdowns. 14 rushing touchdowns for Garrett Schroeder at Syracuse. I think he fit Dino Babers' scheme perfectly. I think he is the electric player that Syracuse needs to try to find themselves back in a bowl game. Kind of like Jeff Collins at Georgia Tech. This is a make-or-break year for Dino Babers at Syracuse, and a lot of the success of Syracuse football is going to ride on the quarterback play from Schroeder. He showed flashes of brilliance last year, and if he can stay healthy, I believe that he can get the Orange to the postseason, which might save Dino Babers' job. But right now, Schroeder coming in at number 10. And at number 9, Jordan Travis at Florida State. The Seminoles went 5-2 in the final 7 games that Travis started. That is a big enough sign in and of itself. Threw for over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns last year, while also rushing for over 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. This is a make-or-break year for Mike Norvell in Tallahassee. Florida State has struggled in recent years and has struggled under Mike Norvell. They've struggled with consistency at the quarterback position. They enter 2022 with a bona fide starter. They enter one with Jordan Travis, a dangerous dual-threat QB. The success of Florida State football is going to rely on Travis and his play. He comes in at number 9, right outside the top half of ACC quarterbacks, but he has a chance to end the year as a top half quarterback if he can take care of the football. In at number 8, DJ Uiagalelei out of Clemson. You talk about Uiagalelei a couple years ago, you'd say he's number 1, right? Best quarterback in the ACC. After his first full year as starter at Clemson last year, he's not. He's actually not even in the top half. He threw for over 2,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. So more interceptions than touchdowns for DJ Uiagalelei. And at Clemson, that's simply unacceptable. Clemson's offense struggled mightily with Uiagalelei under center. Now their offensive coordinator, Tony Elliott, is gone, off to Virginia. We know he has the talent because we saw what he was able to do in 2020 against the likes of Boston College and Notre Dame. We know that talent is there. Uiagalelei has to find it, and if he cannot, Cade Klubnik could be the starter at Clemson. Maybe not at the beginning of the year, but maybe midway through the year if he continues to struggle. So Uiagalelei coming in at number 8, where again, a couple years ago, many would have put him up there, at least in the top 3. In at number 7, Kedon Slovis at Pittsburgh. The biggest thing for Slovis, guys, is his health and his consistency. Slovis was great at USC. He comes in from USC, replaces the great Kenny Pickett, who's now going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Slovis, back in 2019, threw for over 3,500 yards and 30 touchdowns at USC. But after that, he struggled with his health. He struggled with consistency. 2,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions in 2021. Not the best stats in the world, but again, wasn't extremely healthy either. The one thing that Slovis does have is accuracy. He's an extremely accurate quarterback. Every year at USC, he completed at least 65% of his passes. And I think he is the perfect fit in replacing Kenny Pickett. I think he's perfect for this Pittsburgh system. Yes, they lost Jordan Addison. Yes, they lost Mark Whipple, their offensive coordinator, to Nebraska. But Slovis is a guy that's going to keep Pittsburgh in contention for an ACC title, a chance to repeat as ACC champions. In at number 6, Malik Cunningham at Louisville. To me, guys, this is a very underrated quarterback. And most people would have Cunningham ranked 8th, 9th in the conference. But when you look at his numbers and what he's doing for this Cardinals football program, to me, he is a top half quarterback. Over 2,900 passing yards and 19 touchdowns in 2021. Also rushed for 1,031 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. Malik Cunningham is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country, but people don't talk about him enough because Louisville is not one of the best teams in the country. They're simply not. They're not even one of the best teams in the ACC, but Cunningham is one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, and to me, one of the better dual threat QBs in the country. If he can improve on his accuracy, if he can improve on taking care of the football, he is turnover prone from time to time, has a problem with fumbles, threw 6 interceptions last year, not a bad mark, but still needs to cut down on those. If he improves on that, he will be up there as one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC in terms of like top 3. Right now we have him, though, at number 6. But Louisville football right now, that Louisville offense is Malik Cunningham, and he single-handedly could save Scott Satterfield's job in 2022. In at number 5, Phil Jerkovic at Boston College. He's a guy that, kind of similar to Kedon Slovis, a couple of guys we mentioned, is fantastic when he's healthy. Jerkovic in 2020, his first year with Boston College, he threw for over 2,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. So does a great job taking care of the football, has a great size, and finally gives Boston College that consistency at the quarterback position that they really never had under Steve Addazio. But in 2021, he only appeared in 6 games, only attempted 96 passes. So Jerkovic, if he's healthy, to me, is a top 5 quarterback within the conference. He's 14-7 in games where he has attempted at least 1 pass. Where he's thrown at least 1 pass, he has won 2/3 of his games. So, again, he is the guy that I think could finally get Boston College over that 7-win mark and finally get 8 regular season wins as Jeff Hafley continues to build up this Eagles program. In at number 4, Tyler Van Dyke at Miami. He is the star that Miami needs. Miami's got the coach they need in Mario Cristobal. They've got the quarterback they need in Tyler Van Dyke. The Hurricanes won 5 of their final 6 games with Van Dyke under center, and he threw for at least 300 yards in all 6 of those games. In those 6, all those at least 300 yards with 20 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Overall, the year, guys, he threw for over 2,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. Miami, last few years, they've kind of struggled at quarterback consistency. Yes, D'Eriq King was there, but obviously before him, they did struggle finding that bona fide starter. Van Dyke is the guy. He's young, he's accurate, he's got a strong arm, and he is a perfect player to kind of start springboarding this Mario Cristobal era and having Miami in contention, not just in the ACC, but on the national stage. Van Dyke, by the end of the year, I believe will be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. And at number 3, Brennan Armstrong at Virginia. Another guy that, kind of like Malik Cunningham, doesn't get nearly enough attention because Virginia is not one of the elite programs in the country. But Brennan Armstrong was one of 2 players in the entire country to average over 400 passing yards per game. Over 400 passing yards per game. Finished the year with 4,449 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions. Also added 9 rushing touchdowns. So 40 total touchdowns on the year. Now he has a great new head coach in Tony Elliott, who had been the offensive coordinator at Clemson for years and years and years. I think he's going to thrive under Tony Elliott. Virginia is maybe a sleeper team in the Coastal this year. A wide open Coastal division. If they win it, it's not going to be necessarily because of Elliott. It's going to be because of the play of Brennan Armstrong, who is a top 3 quarterback in the ACC. We're down to our top 2, and these should be no surprise for anybody. Number 2, DevinLeary at North Carolina State. Threw for over 3,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions in 2021. In 24 starts and 24 games with the Wolfpack, Leary has thrown 51 touchdowns and just 12 interceptions. He's got a great arm. He takes great care of the football, only 12 interceptions, and has completed 65.7% of his passes in 2021. So he's accurate. He's got a great frame. He's got a great big arm. And North Carolina State, for us, is a top 10 team to start 2022. And absolutely is an ACC title contender and a college football playoff dark horse. And the reason they will do that is, yes, a great coach, yes, a great defense, but more than anything, the return of their quarterback in DevinLeary. The number 1 quarterback, though, in the entire ACC is none other than Sam Hartman at Wake Forest. And it feels like Hartman has been at Wake Forest forever. When you listen to the stats, it shows that he has been. Over 4,200 yards in 2021 to go along with 39 passing touchdowns. 11 rushing, though, so 50 total touchdowns on the year. In his career with the Demon Deacons, he has 88 total touchdowns, over 9,200 passing yards. And last year, guys, he led Wake Forest to an ACC Atlantic crown, so got them to the ACC championship game. The Demon Deacons won 11 games and finished the year ranked 15th in the country, their best finish in school history. All of that is because of Sam Hartman, and he is back once again to lead the Demon Deacons as the best quarterback in the ACC and one of the best quarterbacks and most experienced quarterbacks in the entire country. Watch out for the Demon Deacons, guys. Once a laughingstock within the conference, now up there as an elite contender with an elite quarterback. So there you have it, guys. There are your ACC quarterback rankings. Out of all the conferences that we've ranked, this was the easiest conference to rank all 14 quarterbacks. We want to hear from you. Do you believe that it was easy to rank? Who do you believe should be the number 1 quarterback in the ACC? Do you agree with the rankings? We want to hear from you. Leave your comments below, and let's start discussing the ACC QBs heading into 2022. But as we await your comments, guys, please continue to keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, and sharing the videos as we prepare for this upcoming college football season. We don't want you to miss anything that we have for you, and we want you to become a part of what we're building here at the channel. We want you to become a part of the GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.